Yo, it's Kyle. Another video. And the title of this video is Nobody Can Give You What You Can't Give Yourself. And what I mean by that, okay, so I don't know if you've heard this quote before. I've heard it floated around, and I've also had discussions with people over the last few weeks about nobody can give you what you can't give yourself. So obviously there are things in a relationship that you can't give yourself, such as, well, I guess you can, like sexual intimacy. You can do that with yourself, but I advise not to. I advise you use your sexual energy for other things, for creative purposes, for attracting the right partner. But ultimately ask yourself, why, if you're single, this applies if you're single, even if you're in a relationship, this can help you. Ask yourself, what do you want from a relationship? Ask yourself, why do I want to be in a relationship? And if you ask yourself these questions, if you actually dive deep and really dive into it, you'll find what you're looking for is a feeling. What you're looking for is these feelings that you want someone to give you, whether that is the feelings of validation, the feelings of love, the feelings of acceptance, of connection. A lot of these things you can give yourself. And in order to even attract these things from somebody else, you have to be full of that yourself. So if you're full of self-hate, if you're full of self-judgment, if you're very critical, it's gonna be hard for somebody else to look at you and see love and see happiness and see acceptance and give you that, because you lack that yourself. And that is a problem that you see with a lot of relationships, is that there's this expectation that somebody has to make you whole. You get in an argument with your significant other and they say, you're supposed to make me happy, you're supposed to make me feel good, you're supposed to be, you have to do these things to make me feel a certain way. But is that expectation that somebody else has to make you feel good, that somebody else has to fulfill that for you, that causes a lot of issues in dating and in relationships, because nobody can give you that besides yourself. Somebody can't make you feel about yourself what you don't already feel is true, what you don't already believe is true. It's kind of like if somebody went up to you and said, I don't like your pink hair, and you don't have pink hair, you're not gonna resonate with that statement. You're not gonna be like, I can't believe they said that. But if somebody comes up to you and they say, I don't like your sense of humor, I don't think you're funny, I think you're a loser. If you don't feel that way by yourself, that won't ring true to you. But if you feel that way by yourself, it will resonate with you, and you will be critical of yourself, and you'll judge yourself, and you'll feel bad because this person doesn't think I'm funny, I don't think I'm that funny, or this person thinks I'm a loser, this person thinks I'm super shy, or this person thinks that no good, that I'm a bad person. But if you feel like you're a good person, that won't resonate with you. Sure, it might hurt, if depending on who it's coming from, if it's coming from a loved one. But at the end of the day, if you know yourself, if you're true to yourself, that can only cut so deep. So somebody can't give you what you can't give yourself. Even if you're in a relationship. And if you're single right now, ask yourself, what do I want? Do I want a relationship? Why do I want a relationship? Is it because I want somebody to give me something? I want somebody to give me these feelings of validation, of love, of happiness? And ask yourself, how could you give yourself these feelings first? And I was talking to somebody at work, and they said, I don't think cliches are bad. And you hear the term cliche, but they're not. They kind of assume that word is a negative word. But sometimes cliches are the best things, because sometimes the simplest advice is the best advice. So you hear this advice a lot about, love yourself, accept yourself, and others will love you. But people want a quick fix. They want you to tell, why am I single? Why am I not being loved? And they want to be told something that's not obvious. They want to be told something they could fix quickly, like, oh, you have bad BO, or you need a new haircut, or you need to go to the gym. And these things can help you attract a partner. They can help you attract love, bet in yourself. But it's often the simplest advice that we don't want to hear that will change our lives. It is often just filling our own cup. You hear these cliches a lot: love yourself, accept yourself, put yourself first. But we don't want to hear that. We want some quick tip, some quick change we could do that doesn't involve, unpacking those layers, that doesn't involve going to therapy or doing meditation or reading books or really learning about love and self-love and, and really treating yourself and fixing your negative self-talk. These are things that require deep work, and they require attention and focus, but we kind of want to numb ourselves when we're in these states of aloneness and feeling lonely with social media, with Netflix, with food, whatever it is. You want to numb yourself with these vices. And these can all be good things to an extent. Not everything's so black and white. It's okay to have things that make you feel good. That is also part of treating yourself and love yourself. But if that is what you're doing to distract yourself from these feelings of loneliness, instead of really embracing that aloneness, because you come into this world alone and you leave alone. And if you can't love yourself, if you can't accept yourself, if you can't be happy with yourself, it's going to be hard for somebody else to fulfill that for you. And a lot of times in relationships, we kind of use other people. It's a mutual leech-in where you're using that person to fulfill some needs, sexual needs, emotional needs, and they're using you for the same thing. Instead of two people being whole and really coming together, two people that are happy with themselves, that fill themselves up to the point where they can show up for somebody else. Because showing up for yourself is the deepest form of love. Self-love is one of the deepest loves you can have, because once you can love yourself, you can love others. If you could show up for yourself, if you could do things for yourself, if you could treat yourself like a friend asking for advice, if there's a friend in need that says, I don't feel good about myself, I don't love myself, I don't like to be alone by myself, I hate myself, how would you show up for them? That's how you should show up for you. And you have to give yourself what you expect from others. And a lot of the times, once you start doing that, you won't settle for less than what you deserve. Because if you start filling your own cup, you start loving yourself, you won't accept less than what you deserve. You won't accept mediocrity in a relationship. You won't accept somebody that doesn't love you, that disrespects you, that puts you down, because you value yourself. Once you start to value yourself, you won't accept less from other people. So it's important to put yourself first and to love yourself. And I feel like this is a big reason why so many people are unhappy alone and unhappy in relationships. Single people want to be in a relationship, and people in a relationship want to be single, and vice versa. And there are very few people that are happy, I feel like. I see a lot of people that have kids, that are married, and they're not happy. Then I see people that are single that aren't happy. And it's just like an unhappiness epidemic where so many people are just unhappy. And getting in a relationship is not going to fix your unhappiness, or becoming single is not going to fix your unhappiness. It starts with you. It starts with you putting yourself first, with you doing some deep work and figuring out what makes you happy. How could you put yourself first? How could you love yourself and accept yourself? Whether that's going to therapy and fixing your trauma, or that's, finding a new job that really aligns with you, or pursuing your purpose, pursuing your career, pursuing something beyond yourself that gives you happiness, that gives you meaning, whatever it is. And really fixing that critical self-talk that a lot of us have, that self-hatred that a lot of us have. Because just putting a Band-Aid on it with a relationship or with love or with sex isn't going to fix that. You have to really dive deep to fix that. You have to really start to give yourself these things, because nobody can give you what you can't give yourself. That's all I got for today's video. Peace.